You're listening to the Real Pineapple Podcast Network. Good evening, ladies, gentlemen, theys, and gays. Let me make sure I'm on here. What are we doing with my background? There we go. Hey, everybody, how's it going? Happy Monday to y'all. It's July 20th. Yeah, happy Monday. Hope you're having a good night. Hope you had a good day. Since I am talking about Avengers Doomsday, we've got the green in the background, almost a Ninja Turtle green, but I'm not mad at that. But yeah, y'all, how are you? Did you have a good day? I'm having a really good day. I had having a really good couple of weeks. So I mean I can talk about it now because I've been there for a bit, but started this new job. It's a work from home job. So I'm in training right now. So I'm working basically like 6 to 2:30. Which admittedly is throwing my sleep schedule off quite a bit because your boy likes to stay up till midnight. So but we're liking this new job. My coworkers are great. Shout out to LR. Yeah, I'm having a good couple weeks, So I'm happy to be able to get back to doing this with y'all. I watched like 9 movies in the last couple days, so I'm going to be getting caught up on some reviews here. I'm going to try to see the Odyssey. I'll probably see the Odyssey next weekend. I might do Spider-Man and Odyssey back to back. That might be the move, actually. But yeah, got more reviews coming up here down the pipeline for y'all over the next 5 days. I've actually got quite a few pre-recorded. But anyways, follow me on socials. I will talk about that more there. But with that said, I woke up this morning, and as I usually do, because usually get trailers every day, sometimes randomly in the middle of the day. So I was like, I'm just gonna, hop on YouTube, see what's on. And I think it was like 5:50. I checked YouTube, and what do I see? Oh, Marvel Entertainment, Avengers Doomsday trailer. What? So my black ass gets horribly excited. So I was like, oh yes, please. Let's watch this. So I'm gonna rewatch it real quick. I'm gonna be real. I don't trust YouTube, and I don't really trust Twitch in terms of sharing the trailers. So I'm not gonna share the trailer. So, but I'm gonna watch it. So if you want to watch it with me here, let me hang on. Yeah, I'm ready, y'all. I'm ready for it. Give me all the Doomsday. So let's have a conversation. Let's talk a little bit. Let's chat. Actually, pardon me. Let me pop by. We have my spinach here. Okay. Let's talk about Marvel. I think Marvel Studios, like I'll just pull up my letterbox. That's usually what I do anyway at this point. When I think about Marvel Studios, I think about the state they're in. I think they're actually in a really good spot. When you look at how well received Daredevil Born Again was, especially season 2, season 1 being a Frankenstein, and the fact that first season, pardon me, works out as well as it does really is kind of a miracle. And then I think Daredevil season 2 is a masterclass. I fucking love. Like I have not reviewed it yet, and I need to. I'll come back to that in a moment. But between Daredevil season 2, obviously, I think there have been some faults in the MCU as far as projects post Endgame. I was just talking to the crew about it last night. Secret Invasion is one of the biggest missed opportunities in the history of the comic book medium. You get Samuel L. Jackson to do a limited TV series, and that's the best thing you can do with Samuel L. Jackson. Like I was so frustrated by that show. And the thing is, there's stuff about it that's really good. Like anytime Ben Mendelsohn is on screen with Samuel L. Jackson, great stuff. Olivia Colman damn near steals the whole fucking show. She's incredible in there. And then like I actually like what they were doing with Amelia Clark in terms of like her character. Like I thought that was a good base there. But where her character ends up, I'm like, there's no way you're gonna follow up on this shit. And we've got an Avengers movie coming up. And no Nick Fury. Like we didn't get Nick Fury in Endgame outside of the Tony Stark funeral scene. So I'm kind of like, all right, man, like what are we doing in terms of in terms of the show, or in terms of a Fury. So I've talked about this a little bit, but I think that one of the big things that just kind of makes me roll my eyes is the whole like, oh, is Marvel back? Is Marvel back? I don't think there's really anything that Marvel could have done post Endgame to keep that level of fan, I don't want to say engagement, but I guess more the casuals. Cause like I definitely have friends I still talk to who watch every MCU project. It's actually crazy. I'm behind on the MCU right now. I haven't finished one. I haven't seen Wonder Man. I haven't seen Ironheart. I think those are only two things I haven't seen. Oh yeah, I haven't seen Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man, if you want to count that. I'm waiting another week before I start X-Men 97. So I'm behind on some Marvel stuff right now, admittedly. But I will be the first to admit, I do think that between stuff like Werewolf by Night, I think both seasons of Loki are fucking brilliant. I love both seasons of Loki. I stand by the fact that I think the Falcon and Winter Soldier, it might be the best thing Marvel's produced. I fucking love it. It's one of those series I've gone back and rewatched like 7 times. Like I love Falcon and Winter Soldier, which breaks my heart in terms of Anthony Mackie, because I think they've done a bad job of following up with him as Captain America. I like Captain America Brave New World. I think when it came out, I gave it like a B+. I'd probably go down to a B on it. I have rewatched it a couple times. I still enjoy it. Definitely have some issues with it. But Mackie, this is where it's going to be very interesting in terms of the film itself, because Chris Evans is back. In what capacity is going to be very interesting, and I'll get to that here in a bit. But Chris Evans is back. Marvel has ran 2 Captain Americas before, and honestly, it's been some of the best stuff they've done with the character in the last 20 years. Having Steve and Sam both in the universe, like being Captain America, there's been some really, really fun stories there. I would not mind that at all with Mackie and Chris Evans. If you want to have both of them, like I'm gonna do a whole MCU podcast on like 15 things I would do to improve the MCU. I'll say one thing I would do: have Captain America go international. I would have Sam Wilson, Captain America, team up with Shang-Chi, and I would have them take on the new 10 Rings that's being headed by Shang-Chi's fine ass sister. I would have that be a miniseries. You could do 8 episodes of that, fucking easy. I would love to watch that. I would love to watch that show. I'd be happy if the Chris Evans came back. I will be the first to admit, while I love Anthony Mackie having the shield right now, seeing him do that Desert Warrior, that Saudi backed like action movie, kind of makes me want to have him replace him. Like, I love Anthony Mackie, but that shit, just not a fan of it, man. Come on, you're Captain America. Be better, homie. I just, yeah, don't like that. Don't like that at all. But, pardon me. But in terms of the state of the MCU, I think back to something like Thor: Love and Thunder, a movie that I do actually enjoy. I enjoy it far more for the Hemsworth Portman chemistry than anything. But also, I think that's like kind of in the same way that Black Panther uh, has like almost like a hidden movie inside of Captain America Civil War because so much of the focus is on Black Panther. That's how I feel about Thor: Love and Thunder as a Jane Foster Thor film, and I love the fact that Natalie Portman got to really show out more in the MCU in a way that she hasn't been allowed to be, being the love interest. I really love the way that they advanced Jane Foster, and I would love for them to have Portman back at some point because you could still use Jane. She's a great character, and there's stuff in the comics that they do that you could have her come back. But yeah, Thor: Love and Thunder, not the best movie. I'd probably go. I think I went B plus on it. I kind of stay right there with that one. Maybe down to a B, but I think that's kind of been my eye roll in terms of like, oh, the MCU's falling off. It's like I think I'm still getting like at worst B level stuff. I mean, outside something like Secret Invasion, like I said, it's just bad. And even though I do have issues with it, I really enjoy Ant-Man and the Wasp, Quantum Mania. Jonathan Majors, I think, is great as Kang. Obviously not a great partner, but I but I thought he was great as Kang in Loki as well as in Ant-Man. It's a shame he happens to be apparently allegedly handsy, and I'll leave it at that because but it's really interesting how how Feige came out and said like, oh no, we were always kind of talking pivot. I'm like, I don't believe you. Like Marvel is very good, kind of like WWE is good at being like, oh no, actually what happened is this thing occurred. It's like, no, you actually screwed over a company. It's like, no, this wrestler came to us of their own free will. Like, yeah, the revisionist history that Marvel dabbles in terms of always being like, we always planned that. It's like, come on now. But they've gotten so good over the years at finding a way to connect this shit at points where you're like, oh wow, they did find a way to connect that we kind of just buy it. But I will be the first to admit that is going to be the thing I think that's going to be the hardest to do in terms of this movie. Because look, I'm hyped. It's a new Captain America. It's a new Avengers movie. I'm hyped for this shit. But I will be the first to admit I'm fucking concerned. I am genuinely concerned because let's call it what it is. Like they were going to do Avengers the Kang Dynasty, which I'll be honest, I would have gone the route of having just recast Kang. I would have I would have recast Aldous Hodge would have been a really good Kang. But I would have recast Kang. Say it's another variant. That's what I would have done, and keep with the original plan. This pivot to Doom is going to be very interesting because you bring in Robert Downey Jr. and keep in mind Dr. Victor Von Doom. Pardon me, one of the best villains in the history of comics. I fucking love Dr. Doom. He's a scientist that's like a sorcerer and he's a dictator. He's a fucking fascinating character. And it's interesting because Dr. Doom always gets second. Like Dr. Doom gets his victories as most villains do. But he just his hubris is always one of his greatest disadvantages. He's a fascinating character to read when he's written well, which he often is. And bringing in Rob Downey Jr. to play him, I stand by the fact that I think it's an interesting choice because we really haven't seen Rob Downey Jr. quote play a villain on a quote, because let's call it what it is. Tony Stark is really a villain when you think about it. But in terms of playing a true established, like, this guy is the villain. His turn in Oppenheimer is fucking incredible. Robert Downey Jr. was amazing in that. I know I give Nolan shit, but that it's a masterclass performance from Downey Jr. in that. Um, if he can bring half of that to Doctor Doom, I think we're going to be in for a fucking treat. And just a little monologue we got at the beginning. I appreciate the fact that Marvel clearly probably knew, like, the whole European thing, like, that's not in a great area. Which, by the way, you could have cast someone fucking European to play Doctor Doom. I don't love that, Marvel. Like, come on now. But bringing back Robert Downey Jr. So, a couple things. One, I really hope that they don't show him without the mask. I would really like if they don't do that. Now, I realize what I'm wishing for is a fucking pipe dream, because they pay these actors and actresses millions of dollars, and it's like you're gonna see their goddamn face. But I would actually like if Robert Downey Jr. pulled the Carl Urban in Dread and just didn't show his face the whole time. I would actually love that. I would actually appreciate the performance more if he would do that. But I realize that's not gonna fucking happen. So I'm just speaking to the void. I'm concerned about this because when I think about the Russo brothers, we got to talk about the Russos, what they've done since they left the MCU. So Endgame was, oh my god, when was Endgame? 2019? Yeah, 2019. So okay, so Endgame's 2019, right? So this is what they have directed since Endgame. Cherry, that movie of Tom Holland, a C if I'm being generous, probably C minus. I think I gave it a C minus when I reviewed it. That actually sounds correct. Yeah, C minus. The Gray Man, absolute garbage. The Electric State, which y'all know if you listen to my worst of last year, I think that was number 2. I fucking hate The Electric State so goddamn much. It is a garbage, as the French would say, garbage fucking movie. I fucking hate The Electric State. And then Citadel, which is a show that's still on Prime Video somehow, even though I don't know anyone who fucking watches that show. It's so weird that show exists. And then when it gets to like stuff they've produced, Citadel, they have produced both Extraction movies, so I will give them that. Hemsworth is great in those, but they're also producing The Gray Man and shit like that. So the Russos have been bad in the director's share since Endgame. So I'm worried. I'm really worried about them coming back. I'm worried that they might bring their post MCU stink with them. Like, they could just fuck this movie up. I am concerned about that, and I don't think that's something that's being talked about nearly enough. One of the things I always say is, like, I will always be fair. Whether people agree with me or not, I will always be truthful in my opinion. And I am worried about this movie, that they could fuck this up. Now, with that said, I can't lie. I was sitting there watching this trailer. I've probably watched it like 7 or 8. Actually, like 10 times. Who am I getting? Like 10 times, because I want to do this trailer breakdown and everything. So getting to the trailer proper, I love the fact that I think what's going to happen is we are going to get one universe. They're going to prune the timelines, as it were, and I think we're going to get the Ultimate Universe. I think that's where we end at the end of Secret Wars, which I think is next year. Or maybe it's 2028. I think they might have moved to 2028. Oh no, apparently, damn. Okay, apparently Secret Wars is next year. So that's next Christmas. Shit. Okay, well, goddamn, cool. Anyways, so but yeah, I think we end with the Ultimate Universe being where we end up. But yeah, watching this trailer, y'all, like, I can't lie, I heard that Avengers theme, and I was just like, shit, and I got excited. So I am hyped for this, but I think we do need to acknowledge that, between the Doom pivots, between the Russos coming back, like, can the Russo still do this? I mean, they had Ryan Gosling, Chris Evans, and they couldn't figure that shit out. So, I mean, let's not let's not say that there isn't a world where they fuck this up. There's very much a world where they fuck this up. I would probably put this at 70-30. That's about where I'm at. I'm about 70% confident that they give me at least like an A- or better. Because I do think so many of the moments in this movie, like some of the stuff they're already teasing, like just to go through, seeing Professor Xavier and Magneto, Sir Patrick Stewart and Sir Ian McKellen. It's so crazy that these guys have played these characters for so long, and that they've had this that they've had this resurgence with the characters. And I'm just so happy that we're still blessed to see these guys do their thing. I was so giddy when Patrick Stewart came out during Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness, a very underrated MCU film, by the way. I love that. I loved him in that. I was so excited to see him, and oh god, oh, he's so good in that. But yeah, it's crazy that they've been playing these characters for so long. But it's time to say bye to him. This clearly is meant to be their swan song. Which again, that's gonna break my heart. Like, even the shot, the 13-minute mark where Xavier just kind of sees it looks like the incursion is potentially coming. I'm really excited to see how that scene breaks down. But between that and God, what I'm sorry, I'm almost like overwhelmed thinking about this shit. I do want to start with the opening shot there. Seeing the incursion potentially there with Xavier. The actual shot of Doom at the 19-minute mark, that's a cool fucking shot. That is a fantastic shot. Just enough for you to kind of see, like, okay, the costume looks good. We haven't gotten a close-up of it yet, or like a full close-up. But that's just enough for me to go, like, all right, I think y'all got this. I love the shot at the 23-second mark, the way the sun is hitting off the armor. That is a mwah, that's a clean fucking look right there. Yeah, absolutely love that shot. So I do have to bring up one thing here. I mentioned earlier how I thought they have not done a good job post Falcon Winter Soldier establishing Anthony Mackie's Captain America. They need to do that shit over the next couple Avengers movies, because the one thing I really just hated about the Thunderbolts, and let me be clear, I love that movie. I think Thunderbolts is fucking great. I was actually bummed it didn't do well, which is shocking because it's just such a great fucking movie. But I would be lying to you if I said that I wasn't watching Thunderbolts the whole time and being like, John Walker did kill a guy with the shield. We are kind of just moving past this a little quick, I feel like. And I was actually pretty salty that Bucky's just kind of like, oh, all right, we're friends now. It's like, dude, he tried to kill you and tried to kill Sam. Like, what the fuck? We're just moving. Yeah, I really hate how Thunderbolts does move past that. I do love the new Avengers Tower. I am curious, because when we get to inside of the tower at the 39-second mark there, you see going from left to right, you can tell that's Bob. It looks like they're in the corner, Bill Pullman over there. You got John Walker, got Red Guardian in his new Avengers with the Z outfit, which is great that he kept that from Thunderbolts. Yelena, that should be Bucky there, and then Ghost. And then you see Reed, of course, Sue, Johnny, Ben, Ant-Man, which it'll be interesting to see how they use him. I think they'll probably use him in a similar fashion that they used him in Endgame, where he kind of comes in, he's talking about the incursions and knows a little bit about them in the multiverse because of obviously his his encounters with Kang in the going to the quantum realm. So yeah, you got Ant-Man there, of course, Captain America, Sam Wilson, and then Thor. But the way, and Marvel's been doing this a lot more in their in their in their shit, where like trailers especially, where someone's clearly cut out there. So I don't know who's there, but there's two people just there. I think there's at least two people there. So I'm very curious who's is most likely missing from that shot. Um, Going back slightly to the 34-second mark, I'm very curious how Thor ends up with the Fantastic Four, because you do see later on in the trailer, obviously, that Thor does fight Doctor Doom. So I'm wondering if maybe he's fighting Doom in maybe like what's going to be the end of the Fantastic Four's world, Earth 828, and then maybe Fantastic Four save Thor. Maybe that's how he ends up with them. But I find it very interesting that he's with them and that they're showing that. So going back real quick, that shot, the 39-second mark. I love how it's very Fantastic Four in terms of the stuff on the screen. They're probably just like, casting their tech or whatever with Avengers Tower. Since the Fantastic Four's tech is probably still more advanced than ours, even though they're like 50 years behind in their universe, I think it's still more advanced than ours. So, but it'll be interesting how they play with that. But it looks like that's just showing how the Earth's just showing the Earth's there in terms of what's going to get destroyed, because that just looks like a map of the three Earths that we have, which are what are they? Earth 828, which is the Fantastic Four's universe. We have Earth 616, which is the main MCU timeline, and then 10,005, which is the Fox universe. Which I don't think I've heard a lot of people bring this up though. Has anyone else had the concept that maybe the MCU is like an alternate time, like maybe that the Fox universe is the main timeline? I'm just saying, like, that feels like that could be where they're going here. Just throwing it out there. Pardon me. A few other things I want to throw out here real quick. I'm very curious in terms of what the Avengers team that Sam has looks like. Because if it is him and Ant-Man, he's probably got at least 3 other people. Maybe Miss Marvel. I think Miss Marvel could be an Avenger, because when you think about it, Sam's sister does live. His sister, Sarah, does live in New Orleans. Kamala ends up moving there at the end of the Marvels. Maybe it's Captain Marvel. I would be hyped, because I'll tell you right now, Brie Larson deserves so much more love for her portrayal of Carol Danvers than she gets. She's awesome in the fucking Marvels, and it's actually great to see her character get those shades of gray, as she does have in the comics. But I think Brie Larson has just been a great ambassador for Marvel, and I wish people would get off her ass so much. Like, she gets that Anne Hathaway heat. I do not fucking understand it. But yeah, maybe it's maybe you've got Kamala Khan and we got Miss Marvel there. That'd be pretty cool. But I do think Sam's missing some people, so I'm curious who those people are. Do love seeing King M'Baku played by Winston Duke, and Queen Shuri played, of course, by Letitia Wright. Oh yeah, speaking of underrated MCU, Black Panther Wakanda Forever is as good as Black Panther, if not better. So that's another reason why I think the MCU's backshit is overblown, because people do not bring up how successful Wakanda Forever is, and the fact that it's not just successful financially, but it's successful in dealing with grief in a way that I don't think people were expecting from a comic book film. Like, I love that film has to say about grief and revenge, and Ryan Coogler is just brilliant. Fucking love that dude. That shot, the 52-second mark of Stormbreaker lighting up with Doom menacingly in the background. Like, there's some amazing shots in this movie. Of course, the X Mansion at the 54-second mark is getting blown up again. I lost my mind at the 55-second mark. Look at Cyclops. Look at comic book accurate Cyclops. Look at spandex Cyclops. Look at our boy James Marsden. Look at Donut Lord. Look at Donut Lord getting his props. I'm so excited. One of my favorite things in this whole trailer. So y'all know how much love I have for Shang-Chi in The Legend of the Ten Rings. He really should be on movie 2 by now. He should have had his sequel already. Like, they need to get, like, Shang-Chi sequel needs to be like a 2028 priority. Like, there's no fucking reason it should have taken this long. After we get through next Avengers, hopefully we do get a Shang-Chi movie, because we're overdue, people. But the fight between Gambit and Shang-Chi, that looks so good. Like, and my future ex-husband Channing Tatum, C Tates, is back. There's oh god, there's so much about this trailer. Makes me so happy. Here's the big $1 million question. I think that in between Loki season 1 and 2, that Loki visited Captain America, or former Captain America, Steve Rogers, played, of course, by Chris Evans. And the reason I say that, if you look at that shot at the 104 mark, Loki looks terrified. Like, he looks like he knows something bad is coming. But if you look at the 102 mark, I think the way they're cutting it, they're trying to make it seem like Loki is just messing with the card. I think that's him already giving the card to Cap. And I'm very curious what Loki's, because if you remember at the end of season 2, Loki, he was basically holding all the timelines together, so that everyone else would be able to have free will. I think there is a way, because in the comics, Doctor Doom attacks the Silver Surfer. Now, Silver Surfer could be in this. There's a chance. What up, Afternoon Tune? Shout out to Josh. Go ahead and subscribe to them on Twitch at twitch.tv/afternoontune. Fake nerd. That's cute. Bro fakes being a geek. yeah, so true. I'm not nerdy at all. But I think Loki goes ahead and visits Steve Rogers in between Loki season 1 and 2. Maybe he feels an incursion coming. Maybe he feels doom coming. But I think Loki is the key to Steve Rogers being back. You heard it here first. That just makes sense to me. And them using the TVA, you think about how they were pruning timelines and Steve going back to get married to Peggy and everything. That's not supposed to be on the timeline. So I think that's where the TVA gets involved and Loki ends up helping Steve out. So that's my theory there. At the 108 mark, seeing the Wakandans and the Fantastic Four, that just warms my heart. I'm just so happy to see that shit. I'm like, oh my god, the Fantastic Four and the Wakandans are and then you see you got Joaquin Torres, the Falcon, new Falcon there. That looks like Bucky there, based on the A there. Bucky's up front, so I think that's Ghost there behind him. Comic accurate Mystique at the 112 mark. Rebecca Romaine coming back to play her again. Fucking badass. Let's fucking go. I'm trying to get through this trailer, but there's so much I want to talk about. Vanessa. So I'm really excited to see how Vanessa Kirby and Letitia Wright interact. Vanessa Kirby was the MVP for me in terms of Fantastic Four. I thought she stole the movie. Most of the best Fantastic Four comics are really at their best when Sue is leading the team, in the same way that I think that X-Men is at its best when Storm is leading the team. I love the change up there. I love the jacket. I love the jacket costume combo there, and the shot of Letitia Wright doing the Wakanda Forever sign, morphing into Mackey's Sam Wilson Captain America. That's a great shot there. Yeah, there's so much in this trailer that has me genuinely giddy. But of course, because it's a Marvel trailer, we got to end on what is fucking wild, honestly. Like Thor's on a ship. He holds out the hammer. So here's the thing, the one thing, like I was looking so hard and trying to zoom in, I could not figure this shit out. At the 153 mark, we see Steve Rogers hold his hand out to get to call Mjolnir to him. Who the fuck is that in the background at 153? Now, this is a long shot like a motherfucker, and I fully acknowledge it's a long shot. It looks like it could be Natasha. It looks like it could be Scarlett Johansson. I know that is a long shot. I know it's damn near impossible. I don't know, y'all. It just for some reason that's where my brain went to. Like you can almost see like the brain. I don't know, but the fact they're being kept in shadow is clearly done intentionally. So I'm really curious who that is. But yeah, I mean, in terms of this movie, y'all, I'm just excited. I'm gonna just rapid fire a couple things here. I think that shot where Doom is fighting Thor, I really hope those aren't Sentinels in the background because it looked like those could be Sentinels. I hope those are Doom bots. I want to see Doom bots in the MCU. If you're gonna do Doctor Doom, you need Doom bots. So give me some goddamn Doom bots. I really fucking want that. Let me see what else I want to talk about. I wonder. I don't think too many people have brought this up, but I wonder if now if I'm writing this script and I'm told like I have to do Doctor Doom and it's Robert Downey Jr., there's like that's locked in stone, set in stone. Like, okay, fine. For those of you who've read it, Marvel's What If, the cartoon animated series that they did on Disney Plus, they had those are actually based on What If comics, where they would just do these one-offs of certain characters. And there is this What If called Iron Man Demon in an Armor, which is obviously kind of a remix of the iconic Iron Man Demon and Ball storyline. Basically, that storyline involves Doctor Doom and Tony Stark going to college together. And long story short, Doctor Doom basically Freaky Fridays Tony Stark. Basically, he built a machine to swap his consciousness with Tony Stark. And so he gets all of Stark's resources and like kills Howard Stark and basically becomes a dictator with all this military weaponry. And it's a really fascinating story. If they were actually going to connect Doctor Doom and Tony Stark, that would be the way to do it. If they're actually going to do this, because I don't see a world where Stark Industries just isn't brought up in some way here. Like, how do you not mention Tony? Like, especially when you're all back together, like, like last time we were all together, we lost Tony. Like, I feel like you can't avoid that. That's such a huge part of the MCU. You have to bring that up, right? So I feel like that's what they're gonna do. Like, if I'm writing it, that's how I would personally spin it. Pardon me. Also, it's interesting because Doctor Doom, he takes me back to that line from the original Thor where Thor's talking to Jane, and I'm paraphrasing the line, but he says, down here you guys call magic science, in Asgard we call it magic. I'm from a place where like they overlap. And Doctor Doom is a fucking sorcerer. Like Doctor Doom is fucking awesome. Like for those of you who are not familiar with Doctor Doom, you're gonna get educated. Um, I'm really curious what they're gonna do with Doom. I really am. I'm really intrigued. But again, I will be the first to admit that I have my I have my concerns about this. But we will find out on when's this out? December 18th, I believe, is when it's out. That sounds right. Let's see, Avengers Doomsday. I think that's right. Yeah, December 18th. So yeah, y'all know I'll have a review for it, but I might break this down a little bit more in uh maybe on a stream this weekend. But I do want to get my initial thoughts up. So but yeah, y'all, let me know what you thought of Avengers Doomsday. Let me know what you thought about the trailer. What was your favorite moment? Yeah, let me know your theories. I want to hear from y'all. But later on this week, Wednesday, I'll have a stream for I'll be doing an AEW Dynamite watch along. So check me out on Wednesday. And then I will be doing a stream on Saturday. I haven't decided what I'm gonna stream, but I'm gonna stream Wednesday at 5 p.m., 8 p.m. Eastern. And then Saturday, I'll let y'all know when I'm going to stream. I haven't figured that out yet. Probably be at night, but I will let y'all know. But yeah, everyone, thank you so much for watching. Stay safe. Take care of each other. Give someone a hug. Give someone a compliment. We all use some more positivity. And never forget, as always, to keep it real. Thank you so much, y'all. I will talk to y'all on Wednesday. Have a good night.